Welcome to another episode of Explained by AI.
Sounds fun.
Today we're going on a journey to figure out why plants have the colors they do.
Ooh.
Like, why are leaves green?
Yeah.
It all comes down to some pretty cool science stuff.
Okay.
Sunlight energy and even how plants survive.
You hit the nail on the head. It's all about survival.
Okay.
Over millions of years, plants have developed these amazing ways to use sunlight for energy.
So most leaves are green, right?
Right.
But have you ever wondered why?
Yeah.
What's the deal with that green color?
Well, that green color comes from a pigment called chlorophyll,
Chlorophyll.
which is like a plant's personal solar panel.
Yeah.
It lives inside the leaves,
Yeah.
and it's really good at absorbing certain colors of light from the sun.
So it's like chlorophyll has favorite colors.
Kind of.
Okay.
Chlorophyll loves to absorb red and blue light.
Uh-huh.
It uses the energy from these colors to power something called photosynthesis,
Photosynthesis.
which is how plants make their food. But here's the interesting part. Chlorophyll isn't a big fan of green light.
Okay.
Instead of absorbing it, it reflects it.
Wait, so that's why we see leaves as green.
Exactly.
So green light is bouncing off the leaf and right into our eyes.
And this isn't just a random thing.
Yeah.
Green is actually a super beneficial color for plants because it helps them strike a balance.
Okay.
They can soak up a ton of energy from sunlight without getting too hot.
Oh.
Imagine wearing a black shirt on a sunny day versus a green one.
Okay.
You'd feel much hotter in the black shirt, right?
Yeah, I definitely would.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. Why green is a good color for leaves.
Right.
But what if leaves were a different color? Like what if they were white, like a piece of paper?
If leaves were white, they would reflect almost all the sunlight hitting them,
No.
just like a sheet of paper.
Okay.
But here's the problem. Plants need to absorb light for energy.
Right.
If they reflect all the light away, they can't make food, and they wouldn't survive.
So it's like trying to eat sunlight.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work out too well.
Yo.
But there are some plants that have white leaves, right?
You're right.
Like those albino plants I've seen pictures of.
Albino plants do exist.
Okay.
They have very little chlorophyll, so they appear white or pale.
Uh-huh.
And because they can't absorb as much sunlight, they often struggle to grow and stay healthy.
Wow.
It shows just how important color is for a plant's survival.
Okay, so white leaves are out.
Yeah.
But what about the opposite? What if leaves were black?
Okay.
Wouldn't they be able to absorb a ton of energy from the sun?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Black does absorb a lot of light. So you'd think it would be great for plants, right? More energy for making food.
Yeah.
But there's a catch.
Oh.
Too much of a good thing can be bad,
Right.
even for plants.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Oh, okay.
It's like when I eat too much candy,
Okay.
I get a sugar rush.
Yeah.
But then I crash and feel terrible.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
If leaves were black, they would get super hot from absorbing all that sunlight.
Wow.
It'd be like wearing a black shirt on a scorching summer day.
Uh-huh.
That much heat could actually damage the plant and make it harder for it to function properly. Plus, all that heat would make the leaves lose water really fast,
Oh.
which could be a big problem,
Yes.
especially in hot, dry places.
So black leaves are kind of risky.
Yeah.
They can get you tons of energy.
Right.
But you might end up getting scorched in the process.
Exactly.
What about gray leaves? They're kind of a mix between black and white, right?
That's an interesting thought. You're
Yeah.
thinking like a scientist already?
Neat.
Gray is a mix of black and white,
Okay.
which means it reflects some light
Uh-huh.
and absorbs some light.
Right.
So gray leaves would be like a compromise.
Okay.
They wouldn't be as good at absorbing energy as black leaves,
Right.
but they also wouldn't overheat as easily.
So gray leaves are kind of like finding the middle ground.
Yeah.
Not too hot, not too cold. Do any plants actually have gray leaves?
They do.
Oh, really?
Some plants,
Okay.
especially those that live in really harsh desert environments,
Oh, yeah?
have a grayish tint to their leaves.
Interesting.
This grayish color often comes from a special coating or tiny hairs on the leaves that help to reflect sunlight
Okay.
and keep them from losing too much water.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So even though gray isn't the best for absorbing energy,
Right.
it can be a really helpful adaptation for plants in tough conditions.
Exactly.
It's like they've evolved their own sun protection.
Exactly.
Cool.
It all comes down to evolution
Right.
and how plants have adapted to survive in different environments. Just like we wear different clothes depending on the weather,
Uh-huh.
plants have developed different leaf colors to help them thrive in their specific habitats.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So green, white, black, gray. It seems like there's a reason behind every color.
Yeah.
Let's bring it all back to green, though.
Okay.
Why is green such a perfect choice for most plants?
Well, as we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
green strikes a perfect balance for most plants. Chlorophyll, that pigment that makes leaves green,
Right.
is amazing at absorbing the most energetic colors of light,
Okay.
blue and red.
Mm-hmm.
And by reflecting green light,
Mm-hmm.
leaves can avoid absorbing too much heat
Okay.
and stay cool enough to function properly.
So green is like the Goldilocks color.
Huh.
Not too much energy, not too little.
Right.
Just right.
It lets plants make food efficiently and survive in all kinds of environments.
Whoa.
Exactly. Green leaves are a great example of the power of evolution.
Okay.
Over millions of years, plants have fine-tuned their ability to capture sunlight
Right.
and turn it into energy.
Mm-hmm.
And for most plants,
So, yeah.
green leaves are the key to their success.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We've learned so much today about why leaves are green.
Yeah.
It's not just a random color.
No.
It's all about survival adaptation and the amazing ways plants have evolved to use the power of the sun.
You got it. It's all connected.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
Thanks for explaining all this cool science stuff about plants and colors.
Of course.
It's been super interesting. I bet our listeners are looking at leaves a little differently now.
I hope so. There's so much to discover about the natural world,
Mhm.
even in something as common as a leaf.
I have a challenge for everyone listening.
Okay.
Next time you're outside, take a closer look at the plants around you.
Yeah.
What colors do you see?
That's a great idea. You might be surprised by the variety of colors out there.
Yeah.
And as you observe those different colors, think about why those plants might have evolved those particular shades.
Maybe they live in a super sunny place
Right.
and need to reflect more light to stay cool.
Yeah.
Or maybe they have those colors to attract insects for pollination.
Exactly. It's like a puzzle figuring out how plants have adapted to their environments.
So the next time someone asks you why leaves are green, you'll be able to give them a super smart answer.
It all comes down to the science of light,
Right.
energy, and the amazing ways plants have evolved to survive.
Do you have any topic that you would like to have explained?
Oh,
Drop it in the comments.